Blaine Fowler. Let's bring in Blaine Fowler, our dual threat analyst, former national champion BYU football player. Can you name any other athlete besides Derek Fisher that played at Arkansas Little Rock?
No, I cannot.
I bet you could play.
I do know this about them, though, because I've been studying. They're athletic, so they can get up and down the floor. They will like to get up on you and play some defense, but BYU's going to handle them fine tonight, in case you're wondering. And then they're going to really handle Southern Virginia tomorrow night, and then
handle Savannah State.
And here's and BYU in football is going to handle Savannah State on
Don't
Saturday.
sleep on
But for
Savannah
Dave Rose, that tonight and tomorrow night are about figuring out how to kind of whittle down that rotation so that they can be more effective on both offense and defense, because you got to be used to working, especially defensively, with the same group of guys, with the same combinations out there, to understand, hey, if I funnel him to here, that guy's going to stop him there. So they kind of got to get into some rotations before they get to the Maui Invitational in the big way against really good teams.
And it's tough because you're playing 2 cupcakes the next 2 days, and then all of a sudden you play San Diego State.
Yeah, and it
next
is
Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And Utah plays San Diego State.
Yeah.
Is that today?
I'm not sure. I'll look it up.
They play them. It's like an afternoon game as part of this 24-hour ESPN basketball.
Yeah, Iona played Wofford at like 6 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, I know. So I think it might be today that they play.
Today,
that they play
2
San Diego
o'clock.
State. So
Yeah.
we get a chance to scout the Aztecs. Aztecs are supposed to be really good again this year. I have a couple of their games in December, so I'm anxious to see, because all of a sudden it's a big test. And
that's BYU football's Cal.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that rotations have to be tightened down, maybe to 10. To understand who's going to be on the floor with who and how they're going to work with one another and what their roles are when they're on the floor with those guys. There's so much talent on this team, and they're so deep. I guess it's a nice challenge for Dave Rose to have, that he's got to figure out how to whittle it down from 13 guys to 9 or 10, right?
I do have a major concern, though, with hoops as we look at that. Where is BYU going to get easy shots at the rim? Because you don't have a low-post scorer, and Collinsworth was your best penetrator, but he's limited and hurt. I'm a little concerned in the early going that BYU is going to struggle in that department.
Yeah, we're going to be better on the outside.
Yeah,
and
Fisher
so Fisher's going to make a big difference, but you need to have a penetrator to set him up, and it's got to be Collinsworth. So he's got to get healthy, and he's got to be the guy. Now Winder can do that. Winder can break down a defense some, and his role has to be, hey, either get to the rim or penetrate, draw the defense, and kick the ball out to the perimeter, because Fisher is a big-time threat out there that they were lacking last year. In terms of low-post scoring, I mean, Kaufusi is so raw. I think he can be that guy, and not
maybe next year.
Yeah, not necessarily a guy that you post him up and you throw the ball down in, and he does a drop step and goes to the baseline and makes a shot. But a guy that can get 5 offensive boards and 4 putbacks.
That'd be nice.
And so even if the production from the post comes in that way, it's enough of a threat down there and enough of concern that all of a sudden it opens up things on the outside. But I think Winder can be a guy that can help him with penetrating and drawing defenses and kicking the ball out to the outside. They're going to be much better at knocking down outside shots this year.
Dual sport analyst Blaine Fowler on BYU Sports Nation. Never more true than today, because you're pulling double duty. You have AFR reviewing BYU football, and then you're going to provide color commentary for the
basketball
men's basketball
tonight, and then we got basketball tomorrow night, and then we have football on Saturday.
Bring it on.
It's just another week in Blaine Fowler's life.
That's just how it rolls, man.
We've been asking BYU Sports Nation, who is the most pleasant surprise for BYU football? Given everything that's gone awry, all of the key injuries.
Wait, what happened? Something happened?
Did anybody get hurt?
I just woke up
from a long nightmare.
Wait, what? 4-0 on 4?
But who's been the most pleasant surprise?
It's a nightmare. What is Taylor Swift's line? A nightmare disguised as a daydream.
I'm not sure. You got it, though.
This season is a nightmare disguised as a daydream.
Is that from the 1989 album?
Yeah, it's from her new one.
It's her newest pop
which is not country, by the way. It's whatever it is. It's pop.
Just pop music.
Hey, I respect her for doing that. Anyhow, so the biggest.
Do you remember what I asked you?
Yeah, you asked me who the biggest surprise from this crazy season was, and so I'm gonna pick out a couple of guys that you guys probably haven't talked about.
Let's see.
Kyle Johnson.
No.
Nope.
Tijon Karoma.
Center.
No. Yeah, Tijon we did discuss this morning. We did not talk about Kyle though.
And here's why. I think that Kyle Johnson has developed into the best offensive lineman on the team.
Wow.
Really? How do you determine something like that?
He's just complete. So he not only can run block, and he not only knows what he's doing, so he's assignment sound, but he also can pass block. So he's a complete offensive lineman. He's young. I mean, it's the inside of that offensive line is exciting. And for me coming into the season, a huge question mark was, is this offensive line going to gel? Are they going to get better? And is there a future there? Because to play the schedule that BYU is going to play next year, they're going to have to be even better than they were this year. And those two give me big-time hope that they'll progress and get even stronger and more mature, another year mature, and that they'll be an anchor. And there's a lot of other young guys on that line too. But that core, they're kind of nasty and mean. And we've lacked that for several years on that offensive line. And so I think that I was surprised at how well those two young guys performed, and I think it bodes well for BYU's future that two young guys on the inside of the line can be a core that you can build around for the next couple of years.
Yeah, you're right. We didn't break that down.
So
I said Paul Lasike.
I love Paul, but he doesn't. I wasn't surprised by Paul's performance.
I said Scott Arlano.
That was a huge surprise.
6 touchdowns from Paul.
Yeah. No, I know Paul. I just expected him to play well because I expect him to be one more year into football, and you see his body and his skill set is off the charts. So you knew he was going to take a step forward. So he's been really good, maybe performed above expectations. Scott Arlano's been like one of the MVPs of the team.
Absolutely. He's a weapon.
Yeah, and we don't even like to talk about kickers, and now we talk about him all the time. That's how good he is, right?
When did Dave McCann take this show over and start talking about kickers a lot?
But he's – no, I agree. That's a good one. I think Paul's good. I think Jordan Prater has been a huge surprise, but not a surprise. We didn't even know who he was coming into fall camp.
So if he did anything positive, it was like, oh, hey.
It's like he just came out of nowhere, right? But before the season started, the reason I choose those two offensive linemen is I thought that was the area that BYU had to improve the most in if they were going to make the step forward and continue to get better and be able to compete with the schedules they have coming. And so I feel really good that moving forward that they're going to be sound on the offensive line with those two guys in there.
Let's transition from UNLV now to Savannah State, or perhaps fast forward to California. Yeah. I'm only going to ask you one question about Savannah State.
Here's Savannah State. They're awful. So they're not even. They're just terrible.
They are probably the worst FCS team in the country.
No one breaks down Savannah State. Like BYU Sports.
Okay, so that's the question.
You want to Cal? Let's see. What do they average in total offense a game?
Who cares?
249 yards a game. In FCS. Are you kidding me? Their leading rusher averages 35 yards a game.
Oh.
Their leading passer averages 77 yards a game.
Okay. So you've told me enough.
I start to break them down, and I go, wow, BYU should be able to just line up and just do whatever they want.
How many points will BYU score?
You want to throw the ball? Go ahead and throw
That's the question I want to know.
How many points will BYU score?
They should score in the 60s.
I want 70s.
BYU has only scored in the 60s one time under Bronco Mendenhall. Once.
Isn't that crazy?
They should score in the 60s this week.
Like Idaho State is an okay
unless
team,
they decide, hey, we got some things to work on for Cal, so we're going to work on some things. Yeah. I mean, if they just come out and just say, you know what we need to do? We need to just throttle this team. If they come out with that mentality, they should score in the 60s.
That's not a Bronco Mendenhall.
This team can't stop them, and they're not going to be able to move the ball. You're going to see 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and you're going to see BYU marching down the field and scoring. And so this can be a blowout unless they decide, you know what, here's some things we need to work on for Cal, so we're going to really work this part of the run game. We're really going to work. So they take a little longer to score. That's the only thing that should slow them down. That's how much of a mismatch this one is. Thank goodness it's in the day and it'll be a little warmer than the UNLV game.
Live on BYUtv, baby.
But now let's fast forward to Cal.
Can we get an FBS team on BYUtv one of these years, please?
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Might happen next year.
There's a chance that Cal, if they don't beat Stanford, they're playing for bowl eligibility when BYU comes to town.
And you want a scouting report on I just need to say one name for your scouting report on Cal. Goff.
Oh, dude, Jared Goff.
He is as good a quarterback throwing the football as there is in the country. And when he gets hot, watch out. And he's got a multitude of receivers, not a go-to guy, multiple go-to guys that are athletic and big and kid over the top. He can throw it underneath, and they make people miss, and they make big plays. And so this is a scary team offensively. Cal is an elite team in the country offensively. Now, defensively, they're not good.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're not good. So BYU should move the football. BYU's been fine offensively all year long. we think that BYU has solved some of their assignment errors. As we've been breaking down film for AFR the last couple weeks against Middle Tennessee, and we broke down film for this UNLV game. So it looks like things have been fixed. Now, Savannah, everything's going to look like it's fixed against Savannah State. We really don't know if they're fixed. We don't know if they're fixed until they play Cal.
Middle Tennessee and UNLV.
Yeah, and so when they play Cal, and Cal's attacking them the way they attack everybody this year in the throw game, we're going to find out if the things are fixed for BYU's defense. And these 3 games are nice, and it's good to get momentum going again, and it's good to – and it looks like they've buckled down and they're making fewer mistakes. But the true test will be when they play a high-powered offense. Are they able to manage that a little bit and slow them down and win that one? That's when we'll know if they've been able to fix the defensive problems.
More with Blaine Fowler tonight on After Further Review. You can watch the newest episode on BYUtv at 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain Time.
8 Eastern.
8 Eastern, sorry. 6 Mountain on BYUtv. The basketball game will start an hour and a half after that, and there will be more Blaine Fowler.
So you would have been on BYU Sports Nation, AFR, and the basketball game. Bang.
The triple threat!
I'm a triple threat today. Wow. I love it.
Ooh.